How are you going to prove that he didn't put his brother's pants on that day? They can't. So they had to go other ways. They had to go other ways besides just crazy. And so I pointed all that shit out. I didn't point out that I knew this, one of the 3 legs where their taste was bad. I didn't come up with that because that brutalized me so badly. I thought, man, I can't reveal my last card, because then what if they got something for that, So I just play like Trump lawyer. Who's fair? Who's paying? Why'd you get this like that? There's a few people around here. Oh, they fucking went nuts when I said that. Oh my fucking God, they go nuts. And I said, there's a few people. And then I go, lately. Oh, I gotta write this all down someday.
I'm recording it. I'm gonna put it up as a podcast.
Yeah, that'd be the best thing to do.
I got 1 minute of it right now. I just turned on my camera.
Well, I was the only one that knew what reasonable doubt was. You give the legal definition. So, and I also answered the question about the police by saying, I don't have a problem with the police because they do what they're supposed to do. And I didn't say, anything more. I didn't say they perform their bourgeois function. Something like that, right? I didn't say that. I thought I really could put away, a criminal, Well, I got time on my hands and nothing else to do. And maybe this guy's a bad boy, Turns out he's just a trailer court maintenance man. That's his job. And which of course, every trailer court maintenance man, does meth. That's part of the job. I mean, if you're down to being a maintenance man at a trailer court, the meth is just part of your paycheck. I mean, people pay you in meth. It's a whole different culture. But anyhow, this guy's driving his friend's truck, and it doesn't have a good heater. It's really cold. It's like January, blowing snow, and they pull him over, and he's speeding just a little bit. He's trying to get back to the trailer court because there's holes in the floor of the truck, and cold air is coming in. They pull him over, and they find out that he doesn't have a valid license. We don't know why. He never told us, and it wasn't his vehicle. But anyway, they took him in because he was driving without a valid license, and they actually arrested him. Took him down to the and they patted him down on site, before they took him down to the station, and didn't find anything. And when they got in there, there was a packet in his watch pocket. It was mostly empty of meth. Well, microscopic traces were in there, let's put it that way. It was too small to measure. And that came up in the jury room. I brought up, in my world, it needs to weigh something. Okay?
You gotta be able to eyeball it. Even weighing it don't work, because what are you weighing? A fucking 1-zip plastic bag? You don't know what the fuck's in there. And what kind of street shit could you get into, or over the counter type shit that would show up as meth anyway?
Well, she
I bet you Claritin I bet you Claritin and all that shit would show up. Wallfed would show up as meth.
She told me, no, check out, she says, I'm going to give you a science lesson. And then she blows some air out and she points at it and says, see, that's oxygen. You can't see it, but it's still oxygen. And I go, yeah, I know, but in my world, it has to weigh something. Because her idea was, well, it doesn't weigh anything, but it's still oxygen.
You gotta have some dope left. You can't fucking charge him for a bag. An empty bag. That's like, it's like trying to get someone for open container because they got a cardboard box.
Well, the thing is, you know, I mean, that's what juries are supposed to do, is interpret the law, not necessarily go by the letter, but to interpret the law. And I interpret the law as, you know what, there's no other witnesses except the police. They are trying to hang him for, you know, because he supposedly lied under cross-examination about who dug the thing out of his pocket and gave it to the jailer, and all this, and therefore he's a liar, and therefore he's guilty. And I'm like, you know, and they're like, at first they were like, why are we in here? It's such a small, petty case. And then further and further into it, they were like, well, he did lie. Well, he did, you know. Well, how come he didn't act surprised? If you know, he didn't know it was in his pocket. And I'm like, he doesn't have to. He does not have to say a thing. And then I went and I just kept after it. And I thought, you know what? They've been so rude to me already. I might as well just go all the way. And I go, you know, why are we listening to these guys? And they're the only, I implied, I didn't say they're the only witnesses against, you know, the defendant. But, you know, you guys are giving the police the benefit of the doubt. And you're supposed to give him the benefit of the doubt, not the police. You know, and they start asking questions like, well, why didn't he act surprised when he pulled it out of his pocket? That's giving the cops the benefit, not him, right?
Right.
And so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go all out and full Trump. I went full Trump after that because I thought, well, I got my main card in my back pocket. That is, they did not satisfy, you know, the rule that he had to prove and to have known it was in his pocket on that day, right? And that's the thing like Donald Trump. He thought, you know, well, if he could delay the certification of the election by one day, the Constitution says it has to be done on January 6th. So if I just let those guys tear up Capitol for another few hours, it'll be midnight and January 7th. Hey, I'm good. Right?
Right.
You know, he's trying to go by the letter of the law, right? While he breaks the law, right? You know, I mean, it's crazy, like a fact, but it's crazy, you know. Anyhow, that's why he wasn't in any hurry, even though his family and everyone was begging him to call off the riot. He didn't want to call off that riot. He wanted to see how successful it could be. He was out of options. Reminds me of that scene in Natural Born Killers with Tommy Lee Jones is the
warden,
the prison warden. And he's in the control room, and this guy comes in and goes, "I'm such and such, you know. The inmates are taking over, you know, blah blah blah. I don't care what your name is, you know." And then he says, "And they killed Jones or some guy." He kind of, you know, does a little head shake. And, not so bad, you know. And then he goes, "And it's going to be on national TV live." And he goes, "Live on national TV," you know. And it said that his one guard got killed, right?
Yeah.
You just shrugged, right? It's going to be on national TV. National TV! I love that scene, man. Anyway, yeah, that's what reminded me of Trump, man. This guy. And, you know, I saw what they were doing, like Nunes and Jordan were just, you know, that's why they didn't pick them for the January 6th committee, is because all they did was stupid shit during the Mueller thing, you know. Nunes and Jordan would be always doing shit like I was doing, you know. Well, why is he dressed like that? Well, says who? Well, who's paying this guy? Right? They would just do that the whole time. you know, and interrupt and object and all this shit, right? I thought, well, I'll just do that, because you know these fucking people love Trump, you know? You know at least half of these jurors love Trump. So I just fucking did what I saw on the Mueller report, because that's all I had to do. I was fucking basically forced to retire, and COVID was raging, so I was sitting there in the house.
Hey, Dad,
However,
hey, Dad, I'm gonna try to put this up on the internet.
All right.
That way, other people can learn from the evils of Boone, bumfuck County Boone.
Basically, the guy, you know, I told that lawyer that I did it for John Wellman. And I told him to Google John Wellman. And then later I talked to the defendant outside. He had a wigger hat on, and he was talking to somebody on the phone, and it's starting to rain all of a sudden. And he goes, to me, he says, I knew one of you would, at least one person would believe me. And I go, dude, it ain't like I believed you, it's just I couldn't believe what they were doing to you.
Yeah.
They railroading that guy into, jail over nothing.